Alright everybody, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and all videos. That's right everybody. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and all videos. Very simple. Very, very simple. I don't want to, Gray. Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
You know, that's just one step above stupid.
Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains?
Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Did you hear what I said?
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Whoa, hey, that's the wrong song. Hey, that sounded cool. That was the flyby music. Hey, look at that, you guys. Gotta hear a little flyby music. Oh yeah. Who doesn't like that? You like that? Oh, I guess you guys, there's more people here than I thought. Maybe I should start a show with the flyby sometime. Yeah, anyways. You gotta get that off. It's too loud. And there's the normal one. Yeah, it's called, well, believe it or not, that song is called Furious Freaks. You know, just like that. We're all freaks, etc., etc. And like usual, I showed up over at Vinny's stream, and the trolls, they just wait. They're just sitting there waiting. Will Gray show up? Oh, there he is! And then they just all chime in at the same time. Thanks, Cindy Lynn. And yes, you guys, we are in our final week of the month. See if we can do this strong. I don't have a goal or anything set up tonight or anything, but if you guys want to help to support the channel, that'd be great. We've already given away 3,500 this month so far, so that's good. And I mean, we'll see what the totals are at the end of the month. But I think it's almost like the total amount, like very close it'll be to the entire super chat income, you know. So that's pretty cool. We'll see though. I don't know what's going to be of it. Oh, thank you, Bucolic Buffalo. Thank you. All right, so we got an update today, but I like to, you know, start the show after everybody's here, so we don't get the, hey Gray, what's the, you know, like that. All right. Okay. Let's see if you can see the more of them. Not sure what Blue's doing when he's doing that. Is that a breathing thing, or is he just coughing right then? I don't know. He seemed today like there was a part of the day where he was breathing too fast. It was up to like 50, 48 or something, but then it got down to I don't know, it seems, I don't know, it's weird. I mean, it seems like he, you know, still runs around and everything, but it's like, you can see right there, there's a little, I don't know, we'll see. That's Chloe in the front, Blue in the back. Hey, thanks, Chicken Wing. Appreciate it. I mean, he seems, you know, like he's happy and can eat and everything. Got another dose coming up here pretty soon. No, it's crazy how they, I mean, I go in there and they just, it's like attack after attack after attack after attack after attack after attack. You know, I think they're just trying their really hard, you know, to try to get it so that they don't want me over there on the show or something. You know, but he told me, he goes, we don't care. Jeez, we don't care at all. So anyways, that's cool. I mean, he's like 12 or 13, something like that. He's pretty old. Hey, thanks, Eugenie. A wave attempt. So I'm trying to get the more information from the family on Amanda Nenigar, but it's hard to, I don't know, difficulty having them respond back. I mean, I know they're probably busy doing something, but the 911 call was released. Blue looks like he's about to fall asleep just sitting there. Yeah, I had a dog last 17 years, and I kept them alive 2 years too long. It was ridiculous. They were, I'm sure they weren't even very happy, and I was just more selfish, like, hey, I want to keep her alive, keep her. Anyways, yeah, they have a new aging thing. Remember how it used to be 7 years? That's not really new, but they quit doing the 7 years because, I mean, like, look right there. How many people, so 49 plus 7, 119 years old would be how old Sharp Tack's dog is. And then the other one would have been 100. So what they have now is 18 and then 4 years per year after that. So 18 the first year and then 4, you know. That makes more sense, right? Like a 12-year-old dog would be 44 plus 18, you know. 62 or something. And a 15-year-old dog would be, you know, 70 something. Thank you, Cream Puff. Are you my number one fan? I just saw that right there. Look at that. And by the way, you guys are just freaks, you know. You know, nobody's better than anybody or anything. I just do the shows. You guys show up, you know. All right, Cream Puff. All right. Yeah, like the larger ones, like Great Danes, they only live sometimes like 6 to 8 years, something like that. Yeah, so tonight I think in the second portion, it won't be too long in, you guys will, I mean, you can call in and tell your stories. Remember we were talking last night, maybe you have some instances when you were younger where, you know, maybe you avoided, you know, a predator of some way, in some way, or just anything like that. Like I think everybody had something in their life, most people, that there was some thing, or even if, you know, if you feel comfortable enough and tell a story if there was a predator and you had to deal with that kind of crap. So I think it's important for people to, you hear the story and then you can maybe tell your kids what to avoid and really convince them, hey, you tell me anything. If anybody ever does this, you will not be in trouble at all. You just tell me and then we can deal with it. No matter what they tell you and how they try to convince. Somebody made this really interesting comment under the video that we just that I put out yesterday, I think, or the show from last night. Not sure why I'm still showing the dogs, but the show that I did last night. Somebody said when their kid came up and said to them and said, "Hey, what's sexting?" Because some guy online, this group of people are trying to get me to send some images. And she said, write back to them and say, I asked my mom what sexting was. And then boom, they never contacted that guy again. I thought that was amazing. That's such a great thing because at that moment, they know their little trickery of keeping this kid quiet is gone. Right? So now that's like, boom! I thought that was amazing. Hey, thanks, Billy Barker. Very cool, very cool. And these were predators trying to get the person to do that. So it's pretty, I thought that was a pretty wise thing to say because it immediately made them realize that they lost control of keeping it secret. Like their leverage is gone. They have none. Right, exactly. And really tell them, I think you should really talk to your kids, even if you feel like they're too young or whatever. Tell them the reality of what's going on out there. I know it's probably hard. It's kind of a weird conversation, but you got to do it. Thanks, Kubi. Team 10 warned us about these things from childhood. Yeah. Now there you go. It's been happening for forever, really. There's just way more of them now. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Alright, anyways, let's get to the Amanda story again. It's pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys were watching the other night when we were going over this, but was this case right here. Remember, it was Amanda Nenigar, 27, was last seen in Blythe, California on February 28th, and her car was found abandoned in a remote area of La Paz County in Arizona. A week later, authorities said the rear of the vehicle was on a large boulder. So it sounds like two of the back wheels are on a boulder. I don't know if it kept the vehicle from moving or anything. I think when we see a picture of it, it's already been moved. Yeah, I mean, let me open up Google Earth here. Where is that? Yeah, right there. Yeah, so it was getting kind of confusing in the whole story. But it makes more sense now. They've done a clarification article, and it's kind of sad, actually. There's a 911 call. I don't know where the full 911 call is, but you hear her talking about, oh yeah, by this place, and apparently in the 911 call, she gave out coordinates, like literally saying stuff like, 39.11, reading on her thing. And the police officer mistook some word that she said and drove somewhere else, 40 miles away. And then when they finally went back to listen to the call, they got the coordinates and went out there, and they were within a mile of, and then they found her car sitting there. So I don't know what the time lapse there was, but man, that's ridiculous, right? Hey, thanks, Chicken Wing. Yeah, so somebody would have been there. So let's go over the let's take a look at this one. So Amanda Nenigar, 26, was reported missing on February 28th after she became stranded out in the Arizona desert. I mean, that's so long now, near Blythe, California. Her final 911 call was released this week. Can somebody see if you can find the full 911 call? You know, if they released the 911 call, then where is it? Maybe you go to the La Paz County Sheriff's Office and see if it's on there, or let's see, La Paz County Sheriff. I don't know. I'm just seeing if they have it on there, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But I just want to get a hold of the 911 call. Amanda Nenigar is reported missing. This is on the 12th through, I mean, that's a while ago. Yeah, I don't know where the full one is, but we can hear clips of it in here. I know it's on a news channel, but it's not I want the whole clip. Okay, I've heard the one that's on a news channel. It has like a few sentences, but I want the entire thing. So that's what I'm looking for. So don't send me links if it's just that one where it's like a couple clips out of it and they sort of put it together in what they're saying. Okay, I don't want to waste time digging through those. If you have the full 911 where she's just talking for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is, that's what I'm looking for. So when you say yes on a news channel, are you absolutely sure they have the full 911 call and we can play it? So her final 911 call was released this week, where she tried to describe her surroundings and nearby landmarks. Her family claimed she provided near exact coordinates to where her car was found. See, that's what I'm saying. March 7th, as they slammed the cops' response. Anyone with information on Nenigar whereabouts is urged to call the La Paz County Sheriff's Office. Is that Kit Kat in there? Oh, look at that. Hey, it's good to see you, Kit Kat. Man, I haven't seen you like in seems like ages. A chilling 911 call was revealed that revealed the confused moments of California woman tried to explain her whereabouts hours before she vanished. Amanda Nenigar, 26, was reported missing on February 28th after she became stranded out in the Arizona desert in Cibola, around 20 miles from her home in Blythe, California. In the newly released audio, she was heard struggling to describe her surroundings to a dispatcher, saying, I'm not sure. I see a field. Her family says she provided near exact coordinates to where her car was later found on March 7th without Nenigar's belongings inside. So that means she probably was got tired of sitting around waiting. As her sister Marissa slammed the response from cops that she feels bungled the search. Well, it's not. It's a fact. It's not a. It's not this is my opinion. It's a fact. She gave out the coordinates and they didn't go there. They went somewhere else. And someone could have went out and got her. They could have found her. And this is, I guess her car was here. And that's the sister right here, Marissa. She said, let's see, what does it say? Nenigar's family says the critical mistake that has led to her being missing for almost a month may have been where her 911 call was directed to. See, remember how we thought it was weird when we were just talking about it the other night? How the 911 call went all the way down here into El Centro when she's way over here. I mean, it had nothing to do with that area. Yeah, so this is apparently where, I don't know, man, where her car was in a ditch, but here's Blythe and Cibola, Arizona. This is where her car was, but it went all the way to El Centro over here. Didn't make any sense. Well, thanks, Art Student 13. Say no to lulz. Say no to lulz. She was heard in the call, sounding confused and describing vague landmarks as dispatcher asked her, "What are you surrounded by? Or what are you surrounded with? Do you see fields? Is that all you see?" I'm like kind of in a valley," she responded. "Yeah, there's just a lot of mountains. I climbed too high. I climbed to like a high mountain and I'm wearing pink." Oh, so she went up on a mountain where she is, probably to get a better cell reception. So that was pretty smart, actually. The 911 operator asked her, "So you're on Highway 78, you think? And what would be the nearest cross streets?" "I'm not sure. I see a field," Nenigar said, and the dispatcher admitted he was struggling to get a navigational signal from her call. "I'm trying to get a location on you, but I'm not getting one," he said. So let's just
I'm Arizona now. New developments in the case of a missing woman, 26-year-old Amanda Nenigar. She was reported missing February 28th and last seen near the Arizona-California right by Blythe. Well, for the first time, we're hearing a 911 call she made the day before, asking for help after her car got stuck in a ditch.
Her car was found days later in Arizona. By the time Arizona officers got involved, she was nowhere to be found. True crime correspondent Brianna Whitney has been following this and has more.
For the first time, we're hearing 26-year-old Amanda Nenigar's voice when she called police on February 27th after getting stuck in a ditch.
What do you see around you? Do you see just fields? Is that all you see?
Well, I'm like kind of stuck in a valley. Yeah, I see just a lot of mountains.
Amanda lives in Blythe, California, and during parts of the call with California Highway Patrol, you hear her giving location coordinates to the dispatcher and describing the area.
I'm to like a high mountain and I'm wearing pink.
Okay, so you're on Highway 78, you think, and then what would be the nearest cross street?
I'm not sure. I see a field.
I'm trying to get a location on you, but I'm not getting one.
Amanda Nenigar was reported missing the next day on February 28th after family couldn't get a hold of her and nobody had seen her. On March 7th, the La Paz County Sheriff's Office tells us they officially found her car after searchers discovered it in a remote desert area near Cibola, Arizona. The rear wheels were on top of a boulder when it was found.
The nearest cross street.
I'm not sure. I see a field.
I'm trying to get a location on you, but I'm not getting one.
Amanda Nenigar was reported missing the next day on February 28th after family couldn't get a hold of her and nobody had seen her. On March 7th, the La Paz County Sheriff's Office tells us they officially found her car after searchers discovered it in a remote desert area near Cibola, Arizona. The rear wheels were on top of a boulder when it was found.
She's never been out in that part of the desert ever. It's not a familiar area for her to go.
Her sister, Marissa Nenigar, is frustrated after what she's learned. Once the La Paz County Sheriff's Office got involved, they were eventually made aware of Amanda's 911 call the day before she was reported missing. They were told the California officer was confused where Amanda was by the descriptions she gave and ended up looking for her along Highway 95, a good 30 to 40 miles away. But when Arizona deputies heard the 911 call, they followed the coordinates Amanda gave and ended up just 1.5 miles from where her car was found.
I don't know why they didn't transfer her to...
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, once they listened to the 911 call, they got the coordinates and went right out to where she was. I mean, how long? I didn't hear how long
got involved. They were atop of a boulder when it was found.
She's never been out in that part of the desert ever. It's not a familiar area for her to go.
Her sister, Marissa Nenigar, is frustrated after what she's learned. Once the La Paz County Sheriff's Office got involved, they were eventually made aware of Amanda's 911 call the day before she was reported missing. They were told the California officer was confused where Amanda was by the descriptions she gave and ended up looking for her along Highway 95, a good 30 to 40 miles away. But when Arizona deputies heard the 911 call, they followed the coordinates Amanda gave and ended up just 1.5 miles from where her car was found.
I don't know why they didn't transfer her to dispatch in Arizona. She gave them her exact location, and someone could have went and got her. they could have found her.
Marissa says there's been no trace of Amanda ever since, and none of her belongings were in the car.
Her phone goes straight to voicemail. Different people have tried calling her because maybe, I don't know, she wanted to disappear and she blocked everyone. But nope, that's not the case. Her phone is going directly to voicemail.
The longer time goes on, the more dire Amanda's family knows the search and situation becomes.
What if she's being human trafficked, you know? Like, what if somebody kidnapped her? We just want to know that she's okay. We want her to come home.
The La Paz County Sheriff's Office says they've been searching the area near those coordinates Amanda gave on the 911 call, most recently by drones, but they've also used helicopters, boots on the ground, off-road vehicles, and cadaver dogs. If you have any information on Amanda Nenigar's whereabouts, please call the La Paz County Sheriff's Office. Reporting in the newsroom tonight, Brianna Whitney for Arizona's Family.
All right. Well, I just got a message from like an aunt or something. So I don't know, there might be more going on this case. I don't know. We'll have to see. Have to see what's going on here. But after weeks of searches for the missing woman, her vehicle was found by the La Paz County Sheriff's Office in a remote desert area in Cibola, Arizona, with its rear wheels propped on top of a boulder. Her sister said. The find has left her family confused as she's never been in that part of the desert ever. Her family says they are increasingly concerned by the lengthy search as there's been no trace. You know, I'm kind of wondering, so I got these couple screenshots a while back of, let's just see, all right? So I guess I type in, I like to have the decimal version, is that, oh, there it is at the top, right there. All right, 33.2827. And by the way, everybody, if you'd like to help support the channel, we're in one of those massive lulls again, where we're going to struggle. I'd appreciate it. Wasn't able to put out a video today to help augment or anything like that. 1:14. So apparently this is where the ping or the coordinates. I think this is probably it. Maybe that's the car location, perhaps. At least that's what she said, and it brought her 1.5 miles away. What the hell was she doing up there? And then there's another ping here. I don't know what this is. Oh, yeah, 287. Or is that the same? That's the same one. Yeah. It's just zoomed out a little bit. Okay. That's going to go down to this. So what I was trying to do is just, I wanted to look and see if that's the same, because there's a couple pictures on that Daily Mail. That one.
Arizona now, new developments in the case of a missing woman.
20-year-old Amanda Liv
has been following this. Officers got
stuck in a ditch.
Her car
before asking for help after her car got stuck in a ditch.
Her car was found days later in Arizona. By the time Arizona officers
Amanda. Okay, I was kind of looking at that one, trying to see if that makes sense. Like if it looked like that in there. Almost seems like she was over here, if that's the right picture. Like kind of right here even. And then she said she went up on top of, maybe she went up on one of these peaks and tried to make a phone call. Crazy. So I mean, the aunt left me a message, so I was thinking, she gave me her phone number. I don't know, I don't want to call it live on the show, but do you want me to call on the side and see what she's got to say, and then, you know, transfer it over to here and let you guys know? I mean, I don't know. I can't really. I'm not going to do it live where I'm on the show talking. But man, you guys, see what I'm saying? When I tell you the public service announcement about, hey, you guys, let's help support the channel tonight, nobody does a damn thing. So it's up to you guys to start waves and all those kind of things. That'd be great. All right, I'm going to have to call over there. And there you go. Look at that. Kit Kat. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, so I'll have to talk to her tomorrow. It seems like there's just a ton of information, but you know, just you know, people aren't acting the way you think they would be acting, that kind of stuff. All right, so I guess we'll have to. Tomorrow I'll call her, have more time. I don't want you guys to sit there and stare at the screen for hours, you know. She's going to send me the coordinates right now. That first one that we did, I think, is she's going to send me the car coordinates. So whether that was the car coordinates or not, there was one where she made the phone call. Let's see. Okay. We're just playing I Spy. Yeah. This is pretty crazy though. And there's some people that, so just like Zozo sent me something earlier that people were talking about in a group, and that's what this lady brought up, the same thing. It's a good friend of her aunt, the missing girl's aunt. I don't know if she's going to text them to me or how she's sending me the coordinates. And she's trying to get the 911 call too. The full call. I want to hear it. Yes, they said they used drones on that news video. Yeah. I mean, I have a drone. You know, I think would be a great drone to use now is I have a Mavic Mini, but it's connected to like virtual goggles, and you can actually look around like a hawk would. You know, like the drone's flying in a direction, right? But you have the goggles on, and you can be looking around like a person would be looking, not just a sort of a fixed camera. You know, the camera just kind of going up and down. It's literally like you can look around as if you're a hawk flying in the air. So I think those are like, and if you could get one of those, that exact same thing with thermal, oh my god, I think that would be a game changer for night. Yeah, well, it's the Mavic Mini. God, what are we on? 4, the latest one, whatever the hell it was. And then I bought the controller. It's like a thing you hold in your hand with a trigger on it, and the goggles. So you just press the button, you fly forward, and you kind of rotate side to side like this. But then the goggles can become their own thing, so you can look around and it tracks your head movements to the actual camera. It's crazy. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I don't really have much more to say about this case because I don't have any more information. I'm going to talk to this lady tomorrow, and I'll try to put it all together and see what's happening. She might have just sent the, let's see. Let's see. That's 2 hours for me. I don't know who you're talking about. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Heather Ann. Yeah, come on, you guys. Try to make it somewhat of a normal night tonight. That'd be great. I know it's not, we're not talking about the big cases currently. I know it's tough. I mean, they definitely should check her phone records. You know, based on what this lady was telling me here, it made me wonder if there's something else going on, you know. Yeah, that case is just way too inundated, Carol. It's like everybody's watching somebody filming other people searching. How is that even interesting, you guys? I mean, think about what you're doing here. You're watching live streaming of other people searching for hours, and there's nothing. Though I bet you there's nothing associated with those people. Nobody searching, I think, is going to find Sebastian in this area. All right, let's see. $33, $28, $27. Hey, thanks, Amber Maiden. And everybody's going, wow, thanks for searching, to a guy filming other people searching. No, they're not looking for a damn thing. They're just filming the other people searching, hoping to God that they'll be there when, you know, you land on a body or something. It's just, I don't know, man. I think it's weird. All right. Okay, so she just sent me the car coordinates. I think those are the ones that we have. Let's see, we go up here. Ah, jeez. What the hell? I'm trying to get the coordinates. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so that's this one. That's one we already have. That's the car coordinates. So now we're going to get where the 911 call came in. Hey, thanks Eugenie and Amber Maiden. Jumping on Heather N's mini wave. But you guys don't have to make it mini. You could, you know. Oh, and look at that. Eugenie gifted a membership to Russian Aloha, who I already thought was one. Your phone tracks, you make suggestions where you should go out to eat, etc., but cannot find you when you disappear. Well, that's because if you're a place where there's no cell phone coverage, those things don't work. Doesn't that make sense? I don't know why that's even something that's like confusing. You know, if you don't have she had to climb a mountain to say, hey, I'm right here. You know, I don't know. Like the police weren't able to triangulate. It might be because it went to the wrong jurisdiction to start off with. Yeah. Thank you, Ophelia Gaston. Let's see. I mean, what? Let me see. Well, maybe I'm not reading what you're saying. Seems odd. Your phone tracks you, makes suggestions where you should eat, but cannot find you when you disappear. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the problem. Is when you disappear, when there's no cell phone coverage, then it can't suggest a meal either. Eat at the next cactus. You know, it just doesn't. Far hard to believe that would be her only call. Yeah, she might have tried calling other people. I mean, where did she go after calling at the top of the hill? Most people know to sort of stay next to your car. But, you know, they didn't go to the right place either. So maybe she was sitting around for so long that she just said, okay, let me try to get out of here. And that's where a drone would be amazing here. If she's in the area, how hard would it be for a drone to pick out a pink shirt in this area? I mean, it should just stick out like a sore thumb. Although I've never actually seen what a sore thumb looks like. I was just, and you could probably fly it for miles. I mean, I'm telling you, man, that technology where you can look around, it's so much different. The other one, you kind of have to set the camera down and you just kind of fly back and forth. But now you can literally look left and right. I mean, it's crazy. You're just like an eagle in the air. They don't really disappear in the city if their cell phone's on and with them. So, yeah, that never happens. They can be triangulated and they know exactly where they are. Well, thanks, Carol Z. So I'm waiting for coordinates right here. Well, we don't know, Zazo. I mean, you're asking all these questions that only the person would know if you could actually ask them. Nobody knows why she was in that area, the sister said. Nobody has the answer. Thanks, Carol Z. I wonder if anyone had her on Find My Friends on iPhone, or if they could have tracked her social apps last active location. I don't know. I mean, they found where her car was, right? They found her car. No, my camera is not infrared. It's just a regular Mavic Mini 4 Pro, but I can use it with these goggles. It's crazy. It loses its optical avoidance when you deploy the goggle. Your head, you attach your head to the actually just the camera part. You know, then the drone flies however you're controlling it. There's this little white dot. You go, but then you can start going like this. You know, looking around. I'm wondering how frequently traffic travels this portion of this highway. No, it's not. It doesn't. This isn't a highway. I mean, it's just dirt. Look. I'm not even sure what the hell this isn't even a road, really. It's like an arroyo, a runoff of water. I mean, look. Let's see if I go to. There's no streets there. It's not even listed as a road. These aren't roads. She was. I know something's weird about that. Even now that you think about it, what the hell are you driving up there in? Like, it's not obviously not a road. You're just going to start driving around up this. You know, this is maybe four-wheelers come up here. Now the actual road's right over here in Cibola. I mean, what's that? Is that like a hiking? Is that a road there? What is this thing? Well, that might be something. Let's take a look at that. Oh, it's not even, there's no street view here either. God, that's crazy. Nothing. Alright, there is something right here that has like a... I mean, it looks like it might be a road. So that might be what she was on. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of does go right up into her spot. So let's see. I mean, well, it's just total dirt road, though. And then right here, it sort of ends, basically. Let me turn off roads just to look at that. Yeah, I mean, that's barely even what you would call a road, right? So it goes up here, comes up, and then I guess you could think of driving up this thing here. But it's not really a road. And look at, there she is. I bet that's exactly what she did. There you go. I think we just nailed that part. You know what we should do is draw on that. So probably from... You know, somehow she got here. And then drove up like this. And then we can figure out what the distance is and everything. You know, it's interesting because when you turn on roads, it absolutely does. That's called Heart Mine Road. What question? I don't know what you're asking. I don't read every one of your comments. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Still waiting for the coordinates. Alright, let's see. Right. And this is still road here. Hey, thanks, Alley Cake. Say no to lulz. So say no to lulz. You know, since this is a road, though. Here, I'm gonna try this differently, even though I just wasted time there. I might be able to just go. That wasn't even the right road. It's this one right here. So what if I put a pin here, and then put another pin up at the, I wasn't even on the right one, and then it goes to right here. Alright, then we do driving directions from, let's see, just got to look at the properties on that. You did read it. Read what? I don't know what question you're saying I did that you asked. Jesus. Man, just let me do the show, okay? Is that okay? Or let me see. Get directions, and then you go from here. And then there. Okay. Got that in there. Then all the way up here, this coordinate. Right there. Put in there, and thanks, Ashley. Ashy. I always say Ashley every single time I say that first, but then I get this ashy snow. Oh, look at that! It actually filled it in perfectly. Look at that! Isn't that beautiful? Put that down here. Grab the just the route itself. Take it out of there. And put it in here. Delete this. Okay. So the distance on that is, hold on, to there is 3.5 miles. Alright. Now, can you actually do one from here? I mean, we can just draw that one in. So what happens if I leave that there? Will it actually know how to do that? Man, that'd be crazy if that works. To do driving directions from there. Okay, and then this one. Well, does it even consider that a road? I can see how it would think. It looked like that was marked, but there was no more after that. So I can't imagine this working, but no, it doesn't. Okay. Alright, so that was a road. They consider this a road to right there, and then nothing else. So she drove to there, and then took a right, I think. So from right there, went down, driving around on this whatever the hell this is here. Alright, there we go. So the total distance is 4.8 miles. And I wish there was some kind of anything out here. I mean, there's no 360 degree, there's nothing. But look at this, this road does stop just before, so you can kind of see what it looks like just here. So whatever guy was, whatever Google Earth guy, he stopped right here. Wonder why. But he stopped right there and then he turned around. Well, how do you know it wasn't a lady, Gray? I don't, I really don't. I don't know who was driving. Yeah, so maybe came in, the Colorado River's right there. Let's see. But apparently she lived in Blythe here. So this kind of makes some sense a little bit, you know, ish, you know, like you live in Blythe and you come driving down here. This is the border for a county, and then somehow you come down here, and I mean, I don't know how you get to there though. That's such a weird. You're on 78, so remember this is the 78 that was mentioned. How did you get over here? I mean, this isn't even really roads or anything. It seems like an intentional act to go over there. Does anybody else get that feeling? Unless, I mean, you could have mental problems, I guess, but which she apparently had. I mean, how did you get across over here? This is just pure, you know, there's a river there, so you couldn't have done that. So you have to be kind of on the inside over here. That means you're coming from Blythe down, and maybe you're on this road right here, driving down, coming, you know, all the way down like this. Yeah, look at that. And it goes like this, and then right here, instead of going wherever that would go, you just turned here and went way up in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And you had to have known when you got to this spot here that this isn't road anymore. Okay, but instead you still went up basically a wash all the way up here and left your car right around in this area. I think that's a little strange. I don't know, wasn't she going over to visit a friend or family or something? I still haven't got back the coordinates for where the phone call was made from. She said hold on and spend, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Hey, Sirius Black, somebody accidentally removed your comment. She said, good to see all of you guys tonight. Here, I'll put the goal up on the screen just so you know. Like, this is a really like the normal low 250. We're at 88. Okay. I use Waze. I put Waze on my phone, but I don't use it. I just use the regular one that comes with your phone. But I was thinking of doing that. I want one that you can just put a GPS, plot out your own trip that you want to do, even if it's walking. Like, here's a GPS coordinate, and I'm going to walk and try to get to that. I don't know. I'll see. Hey, Baptist Joshua, we know what we're doing here. Thanks. All right, appreciate it. I'm just waiting for the last known location coordinates. Thank you very much. Whew. Let's see. I agree. Too bad. This generation only relies on technology. Yeah, but nobody walks around with maps anymore, you know. Like, I do, Gray. I really do. Well, I don't believe you. What do you think of that? All right. Well, anyways, maybe we can get to the other portion of the show, because I don't really have much more to do on this one. All right. I'm just waiting. I was waiting for the coordinates. Maybe we'll get back to that later. I'm going to be interviewing, or just not interviewing for play, but like I'll be talking to her, and she'll give me a lot more information. Maybe I can share some of that. Mm-hmm. Because I'm totality, that person that would wander up there. I just think it's weird that she drove up here, up a wash. Why wouldn't you just turn around and go, oh crap, I must have gone the wrong way? One of those people, yeah. Yeah, I think technology now is better. If you type that in one more time, Baptist Joshua, we're going to have to remove you. Sorry, buddy. All right, anyways, her 911 call was weird. Thinking she got stuck turning around when she no, but she didn't, though, because she drove way up the wash. It wasn't like she just, up here it looks more like a road-ish, but it's not. There's no mapping on it whatsoever. The road ends right here. And then this is just a typical wash that you see. See, water comes down. Maybe some four-wheelers go up there or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe she saw aliens wreck and stop. I mean, we don't know. We can sit here and say maybe this, maybe that a million times. Did she sound freaked out when she was on 911 call? The answer is no. She sounded absolutely normal. And then Zozo types in the same thing again. That's pretty funny. That's Zozo for you. Always doing that every time. Are you really rolling on the floor, Gene? Like right now, if we could have a camera in your house, you're literally rolling around on the floor? Man, I'm sending the psych ward over there, quick. Let's see. I bet she was running from Bigfoot. That's got to be it. I mean, we can all come up with a million different things like, maybe she was doing this, but the 911 call didn't indicate she was nervous or scared. She said, yeah, it's over here. I went up on top of this mountain to, I'm wearing a pink shirt. Now, wouldn't she first off, I was being chased, hurry up, send somebody. Yeah. Bigfoot don't have these. Hide behind. Okay. Anyways, what we're going to do now is we're going to switch topics. I don't know how long we're going to do this because we got one of those nights where it's just lull city. Just absolute. Right. So after I talked to her, the friend of the mom's sister, I'll get back to you. Maybe we'll talk about it some more tomorrow, but if I can get the 911 call, we can definitely go over that. But don't have really anything at this point. All right, so somebody sent me, actually somebody named, I thought it was Melissa, sent me a link to like what we were talking about last night, the entire case, that all those crazy, the voyeurism and that like 764 group out there on Discord. And then there was this person that was arrested, and she sent me this thing that I was going to read. It's like almost seems like it was exactly what we were talking about, even in the same group. It's pretty crazy. All right. Here, hold on. I'm going to text that. All right, so here it goes. West Michigan man charged with child exploitation. Says Grand Rapids, Michigan, U.S. Attorney for Western District of Michigan, Mark Totten, Day announced that a federal grand jury returned an indictment charging Richard Anthony Reyna Densmore, 47, of Kaliva with sexual exploitation of a child, conspiracy to sexually exploit a child, coercion and enticement, and possession of child pornography. Evidence introduced at the detention hearing alleged the defendant encouraged his victims to commit sadistic acts, i.e. acts of self-harm, for sexual gratification of the defendant. See, that sounds exactly like what we were talking about. As the allegations in the case demonstrate, the online threats to our children and teenagers evolve and grow every day, said U.S. Attorney Mark Totten. Let's see. Perpetrators can reach kids anywhere, anytime, with devastating effects on our families and communities. My office will do everything in its power to stop this menace, and I strongly urge parents, guardians, and anyone who uses a device to be aware and protect themselves. Based on evidence presented at a February 5th, 2024 detention hearing, the government alleged that Densmore, under the username Rabid, was involved in creating a chat room on Discord called Sewer. One purpose of the Sewer server was to stream minors engaging in self-harm and sexual explicit conduct. One example of such self-harm content is cutting or fan signing, in which someone writes or cuts into their skin another online username. Isn't that just ridiculous? That's what we were just talking about. The government alleges that Densmore was involved in soliciting minors to engage in such conduct and kept related images and videos on his phones. The sexual exploitation offenses each carry a sentence of between 15 and 30 years imprisonment. The coercion and enticement offense carries a sentence of 10 years to life in prison. Possession of child pornography carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. During the detention hearing, the government introduced evidence Densmore's affiliation with an online network called 764. Do you guys remember? We were just talking about that. And related subgroups. In September of 2023, the FBI issued a public service announcement regarding these groups. According to the FBI, these groups target minors, particularly marginalized children. So this is probably related, actually, to the article we read yesterday. Yeah, so they target marginalized children and children experiencing mental health challenges. Prospective members gain access to associated online platforms by live streaming or uploading videos of minor victims engaging in self-harm and sexual explicit conduct. Among other things, group members use the content to extort additional self-harm and sexually explicit content from victims. Hey, thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate you thinking of me. Says, we would like to thank the Manistee County Sheriff's Office and our partners on the FBI West Michigan-based Child Exploitation Task Force for their efforts in working to stop further harm against our most vulnerable members of our society, our children, said Special Agent in Charge Shavory Gibson of the FBI in Michigan. The FBI encourages families and caregivers to have open and honest conversations with the young people in their life about online exploitation and related risks, including web-based predators, identity thieves, cyberbullies, sextortion, and more. To report online child sexual exploitation, please use the electronic cyber tip line at 1-800-843-5678. U.S. Attorney Mark Totten advised that parents should look for unexpected packages as members of these abuse and extortion networks are known to send children razor blades and sexual devices and other materials to use in creating online content. The FBI further advised the public to take a number of precautionary steps, including looking for fresh cuts, bruises, wounds, and scars in unusual patterns, looking for sudden behavior and appearance changes, being attentive to children wearing long sleeves or pants in unusual circumstances, monitoring children's online activity and discussing the risks of sharing information and content, and running frequent online searches of family and children's information to help identify and prevent the spread of personal information on the internet. Man, how long have we been on the air here so far? I can't tell. Oh man, an hour and 23 minutes. Man, we're struggling. If you are worried about someone who might be self-harming or is at risk of suicide, please consult a healthcare professional or call 911 in the event of an immediate life-threatening emergency. Yeah, so this is like a really specific kind of, I mean, I'd never even heard of this type of stuff, really. That's just ridiculous, you know. So anyways, what I thought we'd do tonight now at this portion of the show is have people call in, and you know, if you have any stories, like, you know, it could even be personal stories. You don't have to say your name or anything like that, but you know, you could tell us, you know, what happened or how you were able to overcome it. I mean, just really anything. So you can call in about whatever you feel like calling in about. Let's put it that way. But all right, but I'm gonna go use the restroom here. But you guys, if you, I know you guys know what we do on here every single night, right? We try to raise funds, try to hit minimum goals to be able to, you know, do what we're doing. Last night we gave away $500 to Nick Mac. It was kind of people sent money in to do that, and I sent that money in, and tonight we're just absolutely struggling. You know, shouldn't be this difficult. All right, so I'll be back in a minute. I gotta get the phone lines open now. Let's see. What the hell's there it is. Skype. Alright, here we go. Let's do it. So many audio. Hey, thanks, Peter. Up there. Jennifer Sue up there earlier. Yeah, you don't get anything. Alright. So this is for you to call in. You can talk about any kind of... I mean, you can call about whatever you want to call in about, but I was trying to get it where maybe people call in and discuss, you know, like for... I mean, I've said this a million times on here. My two instances, you know, like when I was young, I was just walking down the road right in front of my house. You know, Beaver and Hillsdale Highway, and this person pulled over and went, "Get in the car!" You know, like two adults, and I just ran like a gazelle, you know, away. But I mean, what were they doing? You know, what were they going to do? I mean, I didn't realize any, you know, at the time, but I knew not to get into their car. Then another one was I was at a basketball camp, and you know, all these kids in the van. We had some sort of a day trip or something, and then he took everybody home, but I was the last one in the car, and I said, "Yeah, here's where I live," and he just kept driving, you know. So then I put my hand on the door, and I was like, you know, and then it seems like a minute or so after that he turned around, but it was kind of spooky, you know. Hey, thank you, Deco Trash. So, here's your time to call in. But you can call in about anything. Really. I mean, true crime related, if you want to talk about anything. We were going to try to do these later shows where people call in, but man, I don't know. Seems like you just got to stick on to big cases or your channel just goes... See, it's so weird. It's like the viewers are what force people into only covering the big cases. You know, if you want your channel to succeed, you got to do it. You know, you got to make your videos on the big cases because nobody watches the other ones. You got to do your live streams, because people are more engaged or whatever. And it's just really didn't used to be like that, but it is now. Alright. Yeah, if nobody calls in the next 5 minutes, I'm ending the show. Alright. I'm not going to sit around and just wait. But for those watching that watched the my video where it looks like Stephen Stearns used Telegram, a site that has a huge online predator community, he used it at 11:49. Now the thing says 4:49 on it, but it's you know, Greenwich Mean Time or whatever. That's the ground zero, right? That's like ground zero for all of our clocks and the 24-hour sort of, you know, all the time zones. I guess there's 24 time zones out there, right? So, you know, that's where zero is. And then you go, you know, +1 might be in somewhere in Russia or some shit, right? And then 2, 3, 4, 5. But we're actually negative, or the East Coast is -5. So if it's midnight, there it would be 7 p.m. the day before, right? So in this case, we have 5:49 in the morning. You go back 5 hours, it's 11:49, and that's the yeah, I know. I asked that question about 20 minutes ago, Detective Wisdom. Yeah. Now it's been an hour and 31 minutes, so you're about 2 minutes behind. Now, so it's 11:49 p.m. on the night of the party for Madeline. Yeah, there was somebody that was telling me they were going to call in. When I was over on Vinny's live stream, they said, "Oh yeah, I'll call in, I guess." Right, well, Carol, you got to call in to tell the story, okay? Thanks. Oh, jeez. Thanks for telling us, Renee. Jeez. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to call it a night. I don't want to do this. Just absolutely horrendous again. So, you know, don't know what to tell you. Got 2 more minutes. If somebody doesn't call in, I'm done. All right? Everybody has stories. They just don't do it. Two minutes. Yeah, well, where is JM? I don't see him. The phone's right there. Was that earlier, Linda? Because you said that when he was on a different platform, and then I did the other case for the first hour or so. I don't know. I could try the newspaper thing, but nobody plays that anymore either. It's just nothing. Thank you, Pirate Girl. Yay, what? Nobody called in. What's the yay for, Zozo? That I added 2 more minutes? I mean, everyone has stories, right? We'll just chalk this up to one of those crappy, they always happen, crappy nights here and there. I do 7 nights a week, so I'm bound to have a crappy one. But your face isn't on the show, Ashy Snow. It doesn't show up. You're just calling Zoom. You're calling, not Zoom, you're calling Skype, a regular phone number. You just dial the number, and that's it. Yeah, it's like talking on the phone. There isn't a image or anything. Your face doesn't show up on the screen. So you don't really have an excuse. Right, but you can call in and not say who you are. Hello? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? What's going on? I don't really understand. Nobody can hear you. I don't know if your speaker's muted or what you're doing, but I'm just hanging up. Not sure what to tell you. Let me see. Maybe there's some setting I gotta change. Hold on. Oh. Okay, call back in again. There was somehow the Skype settings all got changed for some reason. So do it again. Just dial in again. To change the for some reason the settings for the well, my microphone was set to some random thing. I don't even know what the hell it was. I don't hear it. Uh-oh. Here, I'm going to shut it down and open it back up again. So there was two different numbers called in, but they're not calling back again. That's pretty lame. Unmute. Okay, let me see. Hello? Can you hear me? Shit. I don't know what's going on, you guys. I can't tell you. I can see the number on the screen. Hold on. Hold on a second. Oh, wait. No, I can hear you. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, that was weird. Okay, I think we got to turn down usually there's a Skype. All right, go ahead. I'm not sure what the hell was going on there, but.
Okay, this is Jenny. When I was a kid, I had a couple of bad experiences with pedophiles. One was me and my sister were at my dad's softball game, kind of in a bad part of town. We were just playing, and I heard him saying come over here. So I went with my sister, and he said, one of the teams is missing their baseball shirt. Can you help us find it? And so we're like, okay, and we're looking under the cars and stuff. And then all of a sudden, he was exposing himself, and I thought it was an accident. And I was telling my sister, stop staring. I was probably maybe 7, and she was 5 or a year younger than that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just, said, I think I hear my mom, and I ran away. And I told my friend, and she told her mom, and she told my mom, but no one ever called the cops. I mean, it was in the 80s, so there weren't cell phones.
Do you think he was like an exhibitionist, or what do you think he was doing? Like he was trying to get you to look at his private parts?
Well, he said, I forgot to say, he said, can you help me put it back in?
Oh, well, geez, okay.
And that's when I knew, okay, it's not an accident, or if it is, you're on your own.
Wow.
And then another time I was at home alone, just for a couple hours, and the phone rang, so I answered it, and this guy said that he was a doctor, and so he was kind of
Wait, what was that? Your audio changed? Can you say it again?
Oh. So he called and I answered, and he was basically trying to instruct me how to masturbate, but I was too young, so I didn't really understand.
It's hard to hear you now. Nobody can hear you because you changed something. It was perfectly clear, and then you shifted or did something different. I'm not sure what you're doing differently, but it sounds like you're about 1,000 meters underwater. What's that?
I guess they were just walking around outside. I don't know if that
there
was
you go.
why.
It's good right now. Yeah, right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's telling me I'm a doctor, breathe into the phone, and I was like, I am breathing into the phone, like, I don't know what else you want me to do. And then I eventually just hung up and once again told my mom, and she just was kind of like annoyed with me. But it's like, how was I supposed to know? And I always wondered if it was this guy named Stanley, and he was like a known pedophile. I guess he was on the list, and he was in the neighborhood, and I always wondered like if it was him, if he saw my mom leave and knew I was home alone, but I'm not sure.
Wow, so that sounds like somebody was trying to set something up. Crazy.
Yeah. There wasn't internet then, so they just made phone calls.
Were they just trying to get you to talk to them? I mean, what were they going to try to do? Get you to go somewhere? I mean...
Maybe it cut out. He was trying to get me to masturbate, but I was too young.
Oh, he was trying to get... yeah, jeez.
Yeah, saying he's a doctor.
He was trying to get you to do that, like just listening to you? And I mean, that's just creepy as hell, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was like, I am breathing in the phone. Like, if you want an adult breathing in the phone, like, that's different. Like, you're too young. It doesn't just work like that.
Wow, man. That's... Well, it sounds like you had some crazy experiences. Probably good it wasn't later in now with all the internet and videos and things like that.
I can see why when I was a teenager, my dad like made me tell my AOL password, and I thought it was stupid, but now I can see why, because things like that can happen to teenagers that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. How old are you now?
I was a teenager when it came out. I'm 40. I'll be 42 now.
Well, I forgot about AOL, but AOL's, man, that's been like, I guess the internet's been around since like 93 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 17, so it was probably like maybe 98, but we didn't have it when it first came out.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, that's...
There's too many stories. One is as an adult, I was staying with my sister, and I saw someone looking in my window, and I didn't like grab my phone. I just like went outside to get a better look, and he was still looking in my window, and I said, hey, and then he like ran over the short fence and ran away. And I told my niece, and she didn't seem surprised, and she said that the same thing had happened to her. I was wondering why she had bubble wrap in her windows. And so he started with her. He might have thought that I was her because we look similar, although I'm 10 years older. And once again, I told my mom, and she said, well, at least like he didn't come inside. It was just outside. But then when we talk about all these people, it starts with voyeurism, and then it ends up in death sometimes. And so I'm like, yeah, he was watching this time, but what about another time?
Right.
Anyway, my sister moved, so we don't live there anymore. But I know it was like a short Puerto Rican man, but that's all I got.
Wow. Well, it's, more than anybody else called in about. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I'm glad
I've been holding on to these for a while.
I'm glad nothing, sounds like nothing physically ever happened, and it was back in a time where, it wasn't as easy to manipulate somebody, So you got kind of lucky there.
Yeah.
So.
I think so.
Well, hey, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All
I'll
right.
see you in chat.
All right, see you there. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, you guys, is there any chance that we can say no to lulls tonight? We're only at 40% of the low end of a nightly attempt. Anyways, who's calling in next? it's like when people type in the chat, we can't hear. I mean, isn't it obvious that I know that you can't hear? You don't need to type it in. All right, I know how to, try to fix it. Like 9 of you go, hey, we can't hear anything. Hey, we can't. Like somehow I can't hear. I can't tell that it's weird shit. Hey, thanks, Rad Story. Right, Kevin? Jesus. Good Lord. My God. Gray, that isn't very nice. Thanks, Rad Story. One of the few people that heard the shortage on the nightly goal. Absolutely getting crushed. Let's see. Yeah. Well, there was another caller that called in with the 7-something area code, but they didn't call back. So. Well, we've had a ton of lulls, Rad Story. A ton of them. Yep, this is just a Sunday night show, trying to see if people wanted to call in, did a little update. Doesn't have to be a long one. Nervous about tomorrow, though. We're heading into the end of the month, and it sucks when it goes downwards at the end of the month. It's like you want it to kind of crescendo in there and have it be like, I'm trying to get it so that I can give about over 6,000 or more away total for the month. And right now this is a setback for that. We're kind of in that range of getting up there. Oh yeah, the number's not on the screen. I guess that would matter. Yeah. She drove through some pretty sticky territory. Yeah, well, it wasn't even a road. That's what happened. Well, call in, Renee. It's easy. You don't need to chicken out. Just call in, start talking. Thanks, Renee H. and Gummo. Juniper's Tarot and Astrology. Huh? What does that mean? Yeah, you can call in, Renee. Just dial the number and start talking. It's easy. Yeah, you typed that in already, Kevin. Second time you typed in the same thing. Wasn't really that funny the first time, nor was it funny the second time. That's why nobody commented. It wasn't that they didn't read it, so you didn't need to type it in again, Kevin. It just wasn't funny. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it looks like one right now. Ooh, hello. 7 something. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
It's Renee H.
It's Renee H.
Hi.
What's going on?
It's Renee H.
Yeah.
Well, I got to turn myself down.
Yeah, you got to turn the audio in the background off.
God, I'm that person. Oy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know I was really checking out.
First time caller.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I know, but long time listener.
That's right. Who would say that? Who who would say that all the time? It was Tom Likas or something. I think he would do that. Yeah.
Oh my God, Tom Likas.
Remember that guy? He was pretty good radio personality. I think I remember him saying that. All right. Anyways, forget that.
I know. I remember.
Okay,
my stories.
Yeah.
I got one from when I was 11. I was with my girlfriend. We were walking home from ice skating, and this car pulled up. It was a guy, and we were on his passenger side, and he's like, "Hey, come here. I need help. I'm lost." So we went up, and of course, I stick my head all the way in the window. I don't know what's wrong with me, and he, was, with himself, and so I was just frozen in fear. I did not know what to do. I was just I'd never seen that before, so I just was so freaked out. So then I told my friend, and then we ran home to her house, and her mom called the police, and she was crying. I wasn't really that affected, so I just kind of was like, that's weird.
That's kind of similar to the first caller. Kind of similar with the guy that, you know. So what do you think? I think that's kind of like a voyeur or an exhibitionist, right? Or like he just wanted to, I mean, do you think he was trying to get you to get in the car, or what was he doing?
No. Nope. I think he's just what you said. I think he's just a creepo. Just a weird creepo.
Wow.
And then my second story, I was in college, and it's another similar story. I was in college, and I was in my kitchen, and it was nighttime, and you really do have a sixth sense, because I felt someone staring at me. I like totally could feel someone. So I turned around, and the window's right there. These are real old houses that have high windows, and I just saw like eyes and a nose. It was absolutely the most frightening thing I've ever seen. And so I turned off the light and ran into another room and just hung out until the next day. And then I went through the alley, and I looked, and there was like an upside down garbage can. And so he was like standing or kneeling on that right under the window. It was awful.
Jeez.
So those are my creepy story. No, that one was really bad.
So one of them sort of like exhibitionist / whatever. And then this one was more of a peeping Tom type, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he, I mean, I lived in the city at the time, and so, you know, a lot of stuff like that would happen, but it was just, it really creeped me out. So now I'm like always keep all my windows shut, all my shades shut at nighttime. You know, even though people say, oh, well, they can't see up there if you're up high, but you can. If you can see someone on the ground, they can see you. So be careful out there.
Yeah, jeez. Well, see, that wasn't too bad, right?
No, I'm like shaking. My heart is beating so fast because you can be intimidating.
Right now?
Right?
Come on. You gotta be kidding me.
No, you can't.
Well, not when you call in.
You're much.
Yeah.
No, you're so nice when you call in, so I'm glad I did. But
well, on the show, it's just people type in.
Well,
they always type in nonsensical. There's just so many things that people type in that are nonsensical. I just after a while, you just get sort of like, oh God, look at this, right? But people calling in, it's just, this is your thoughts, you know. Why would I don't have anything to say about that.
Yeah,
So.
You're right. You're awesome to call in, and you're not bad in the chat either. A lot of times I agree with you. I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is when you use those voices and you call yourself a bastard. That I just die.
Great.
I laugh so hard every time you do that.
That one, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad you like it when I call myself a bastard. That's awesome.
I do. I love it. But you're really funny. It's like today when you were like talking about the GPS, making recommendations about eating at the next cactus or something you said,
Yeah.
I was dying. I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. It's not like it's out there. There's no GPS when you're in the middle of nowhere. So, anyways, all right. Well, cool. I'm glad I make you laugh. I try to make people laugh.
Yeah, you do. I'm glad I called it.
Well, good. So now you can call in again sometime, right?
Yeah, maybe talk about a case.
Yeah. There you
I
go.
have theories.
Well, there you go. What you mean when we're doing cases, you get theories that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I do. I have them and I talk about them to the phone, you know, to what I'm listening to, my dog. But I've never I don't really talk to real true crime people about them like you. I just
You try
stuff. But I'm usually really.
Don't you guys find this the worst thing in the world is when you're really interested in a case and you're just like, oh yeah, and then you try to talk to somebody else about it, like out in the world, and like, oh, you should see this, and then you realize how much background you have to feed them first, and then by the time you're done telling them that, their eyes are glazed over, and then it's just, I mean, the whole thing just, I don't know, I hate it.
You're 100%. 100%. Like, I think people like all of us, the freaks, and you and our true crime people we're just like a different breed. Because whenever I try to make small talk, like when I'm at the salon or something, and I'm like, oh, hey, did you hear about, and I'll bring up a case, and they just look at me like, I have no idea what you're talking about, you know, and I'd be so enthusiastic, and then you just feel, you just feel weird. Like, am I that much of a weirdo that I'm into this?
And it's almost weird that they don't know about it, too, right? Some of these cases, like you bring up, the Idaho 4. What do you think about in there? Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's Brian Coe? You know, like, who the hell are you talking about?
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, do you live under a rock somewhere? Or you haven't heard of that? It's like,
well, that's just the thing is we think that the reality is we think, like the Delphi case, I'd say 70% of the population has never heard of that, if not more than that. And see, a lot of times there's these cases that, well, for example, even this, you know, these ones going on right now, Sebastian, the Strain. Most people didn't heard of those at all, hear of them at all. It's just in the true crime world and all the true crime shows, you know, people talk about those things, but a lot of people don't watch those shows at all. They do something else, you know, which is weird to me.
It's amazing.
It feels like everybody's got to be aware of these things, but they're not.
Exactly. Oh, that's exactly what I think. And I do. I get the glazed over eyes, or I get the people moving their chair a little bit away from me. And it's like, okay.
They actually move their chairs a little way? That's a little strange.
No,
there.
you know what I mean, though.
Oh, my God, everybody. Like, yeah. Sort of scooting away. Yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly.
All right.
Like, you just read the room and you're like, okay, we're going to stop talking about this.
I'm waiting for Kevin to throw one of his jokes in the chat again. He quit him. No, he quit him.
No.
All right. Anyways, well, I guess that's it. So somebody else can call in now.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Okay.
Well, thanks, Renee
Thank
H.
you.
For calling in and actually talking. All right. Have a good one. See you later.
Absolutely. You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. See that? Look at that. That was Renee H. Okay, where are we at now on the... We are at... well, it's actually 141, so we're over 50%. Who's calling in next? I was, Kevin. I just was on pins and needles waiting for your next hilarious... I mean, you know, like, those people when they say, I'm back, everybody. When they say, I'm back, it's like that. I was just waiting around. Let's see. I don't see anybody else calling in. We got two. Those are the same two numbers, I think, that were originally calling. Made into a film. I think Idaho 4 one would make an interesting movie. Like, you have somebody play Brian Koberger and just all of his stalking and stuff, and then the other side are the kids and partying and they have fun and stuff, and then how he went home and he's in the kitchen. I mean, his is perfect for a movie, his case. You know, Delphi really, it's more, that Delphi case is more of a documentary thing. I think it'd be great if somebody made a real legit documentary on that one, because it's not really a movie. 206.
Hey, Gray.
Hey.
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
Hey, it's Pirate Girl.
Awesome.
How are you doing? Good.
Not too bad.
Hey, so everybody is calling in talking about creeps, and
there doesn't seem to be a shortage of them. I was calling in, and just someone else's story triggered a memory in me where, and this is back in the 70s, back when I don't think things got reported or acted on maybe as quickly as they do today. But I had gone to the movies with my mom and a friend of hers, and they wanted to see a movie that was rated R, which, you know, I was 11, so I wasn't going to be going into that movie. But it was one of those movie theaters where there are a number of different theaters within the main complex. So I went into a different movie alone, and I guess my mom thought that was safe because we were all in the same, you know, movie theater complex. So I go in there, and I was sitting by myself. There were other people in the theater, and one of the guys who worked at the theater, like what do you call them, ushers? Like they tear the tickets, and or that's what they did back in the 70s. He came down and sat beside me, and, you know, there aren't cup holders in the seat, so I just had my soda sitting, like, between my legs, holding it there. And he came down and sat beside me and said, move your drink, you're getting your pants wet. And I didn't think I was getting my pants wet, but I picked the cup up, and he immediately tried to put his hand down my pants. And I mean, there were other people in the theater, but not sitting like right close where they would have seen this.
Oh, geez.
But it scared the hell out of me. Plus, he worked there, and he was an adult, so it really scared the crap out of me.
Well, that means
that
means he selected that job to be close to, you know, because kids go into movies a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and he, you know, he couldn't have known that I was coming in there. He wasn't targeting me. He was targeting any little girl probably in my age range. I was like 11 or so. And, I mean, it scared me so bad. I got up out of the seat, and I went back out of the theater, and I went up to the lady at the box office where they were selling the tickets. She was like older, maybe in her 60s. And I said, I need help. And she turned around and she said, what's wrong, sweetie? What do you need? And she knew my mom, I think, or just saw that my mom and her friend had gone into a different theater. So she knew I was alone. And she said, what's going on? And I said, that guy who works here just tried to put his hand down my pants in the theater. And I remember seeing the shock on her face. And they pulled him out of the theater. I don't know what they did with him. I mean, I suspect he probably did lose his job because, I mean, they did act immediately. And I didn't have to talk to him or anything, but another man who worked at the theater went over, and I saw him questioning him. And the older lady from the box office actually came in and sat down with me for the rest of the movie. But I was so freaked out that I pretty much I couldn't have told you what the movie was about.
Well, why didn't they, I mean, so you told somebody, but did they get rid of the guy, or like what?
Well, they pulled him out of the theater, and they were over questioning him like another man who worked at the theater. And I don't know what they were asking him or saying, but they were taking it seriously, I can tell you that much. And my guess would be that he probably did lose his job, but, you know, just the fact that he was working there looking for a kid that was by themselves to do that too. I mean, he obviously has
Why don't they just refund you your money? And I mean, do you really want to go back in and watch the movie, or?
Well, I didn't know what else to do because I was alone, and I felt safe with the lady who I had asked for help from. And I don't even think there was that much of the movie left, but I couldn't tell you how much of it was left. But it wasn't until we were riding home in the car that my mom, I was sitting in the back seat, and her and her friend were in the front, and she said, so how was your movie? Because they were talking about the one they had seen. And I said, well, I missed half of it. And she said, why did you miss half the movie? And I told her, I said, well, the guy who works there came in and he was trying to put his hand down my pants. And so I went and told the lady at the box office, and my mom almost ran off the road. I mean, she stopped the car and she said, what are you talking about? And I know that she did call in there, but like I said, I don't think that things got acted on back in the 70s necessarily the same way they do today. Like today, they probably would have sent the police over there. I mean, who knows what would have happened. But, you know, I remember my mom was just completely shocked and outraged. And while nothing horrible happened, like as far as my safety was concerned, I mean, it always stuck in my mind. And it just shows you that these people are everywhere. And, you know, it hasn't gotten better over the decades, you know, clearly. So, but anyway, that's my creep story, or one of them anyway. So
well, you got another one? You said one of them. You got another one, or I mean,
I was choosing one that was more benign, really. I mean, it's obviously it stuck with me over the years, that how much it scared me at that moment. Just that somebody who actually worked there and there were other people in the theater, I mean, that's pretty bold. But maybe he probably had done that before, and he felt like, oh, you know, I've got a good thing going here. You know, they don't tell or whatever. And I jumped right out of my seat and went up the aisle and out to the box office and told immediately. But that doesn't mean that every other kid he did it to did, you know, reacted immediately or even told anyone. So
yeah,
it's just creepy.
You don't
creepy.
You
anyway.
don't want to share one of the other ones? If you don't, that's okay too.
Well, I mean, everybody always talks about stranger danger, and I would tell you that you do need to also pay attention to friends, acquaintances, and other family members that could be a predator that, you know, has access to your child, because that was something else that I experienced, and that wasn't so benign. But, you know, I think it's less likely that a stranger is going to do something like that, like what happened in the movie theater, and more likely to be somebody that your kid knows, trusts, has been around, something like that. And that probably makes them even less likely to tell, because they might assume that nobody's going to believe them because everybody likes that person or knows that person or you're related to that person. So, I don't know. You definitely just have to pay attention to who's around your kids. I mean, I work in a pediatric ER, so we see a lot of, there's so much trafficking and abuse and just all kinds of things that you wouldn't even believe. And I mean, I'm a mandatory reporter, so if I hear a child say anything suspicious, sorry, my dog is drinking water in the background. I hope that's not loud. It's just unbelievable, the things that happen to children. And I mean, the ones that we see that come in that are experiencing trafficking and a lot of the worst abuse type of situations tend to be like anywhere from 12 and up through their early teens. But I mean, we certainly see younger kids that come in that just have terrible things that they're experiencing or that have happened to them. But the good thing is people are listening to them, and it is being reported. And, you know, hopefully they're able to intervene and do something for those kids before something worse happens, like a Madeline Soto type situation or anything. I wish that somebody had known and could have helped her. But, you know, I think she was on the autism spectrum, if I'm remembering correctly. And I work with ASD kids all the time, and that communication issue that they have, I think, makes it harder for them to communicate, or express it to somebody that they would report it to, even their friends or other family. And I think it, it makes them more vulnerable. And the person doing it knows that. That's why they're targeting them to begin with. Because they think that they won't tell, or that they can't, or, they have a communication problem, and, they're a good target.
Well, these guys are doing the ones we were talking about yesterday. They do the leverage. They get them to send one picture. So you can see like Keegan Kline doing something like that, where he had, he gets a picture sent over because they think they're sending it to Anthony Schatz. And then at that point, he would have leverage over them once he has the image.
Because they sent the photo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they think their parents are going to be mad when they find out that they actually did it. And so now they're going to be like, well, they won't tell because they're going to get in trouble, and I can sort of their version of blackmailing the kid or something. I don't know. It's gross. I mean, it's sick. I still can't believe that they haven't found some connection with Keegan Kline
and Richard Allen.
And Richard Allen. It doesn't make sense to me. It never did.
Yeah,
I mean, I came into the Delphi case really late. Like, I knew very little about that until not that long ago. I mean, it's been within the last year, but obviously a long time passed before I, knew. And so I hadn't heard all of those theories or any of that stuff. And I learned a lot of that from your show, thankfully, so that I wasn't, bombarded with a ton of conspiracy crap. I just was hearing the facts as you were laying them out. And yeah, it still doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, what are the odds that he was going to meet them that day and then somebody else happened to take them? I mean, what terrible luck.
The thing is, some people say that they were just telling him that, but I mean, here's the thing is, investigators they lie to people, but they don't lie to the person on something the other person knows the answer to. They tell you stuff to get you to, oh my God, they said that? Oh, wow. Oh, your other friend over here, he told us this. Oh, crap. Okay, well, I'll say, that's what they do. But they don't tell you something like if you knew that if your birthday was, a certain day, and they go, well, hey, we found out your birthday's on this day, and you go, well, that's just not true. I mean, so it doesn't work at that point.
Right.
Like if I wasn't at the, so people, they say that, oh, they're just lying in that long 198-page document, but there's no reason. When he says you communicated with her that day and you were supposed to meet up, like that kind of thing, they would know that he would know that, no, I wasn't, like he knew that. So
yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think it's real. You don't lie when they know that the answer is false. I mean, whatever.
Exactly. I mean, that would be just like if somebody came up and told me that, just told me something that I knew to be false. I wouldn't be that bothered by it because I know it isn't true, right? Mm-hmm. I would just be like, okay, well, that's not a fact or that's not true. And, if somebody were investigating it, they would easily find out that it weren't true.
Yeah, and you would also as soon as you realize that they were doing that, you'd think, oh, these people are just trying to trick me. Immediately, you'd quit. Yeah. You quit cooperating with them. But if you lie to somebody about something they can't know the answer about, like, hey, we interviewed one of your friends, this is what they told us. You don't know if they didn't say that. So
right.
That's what
exactly. So I don't know. I mean, I guess, is that like a dead end with him, or do you think something's going to come out at trial?
They have never been able to find a connection. Don't you think it's weird that the defense never picked up on that one? I mean, geez, you could have jumped all over that, but they probably. I mean, that might be another thing too, that they saw that they couldn't find a connection, but then I think it would look bad. So if you went like this, oh, it's Keegan Kline, but how would you link it back to? Then all of a sudden there would start. I don't know. It just seems like it would link back to Richard Allen. Maybe they felt like there's stuff in Richard Allen's past that matches a little bit of what the Keegan Klein's had in it. So if we put it on this crazy Odinist thing that he has nothing to do with, then oh wow, that'll look wild. The people will believe it.
Yeah, that whole Odinist thing is a bunch of crap. But I don't know. I mean, the whole thing with resetting the phone and going to Vegas or whatever. I mean, I just don't think there can be that many coincidences. I don't really believe in that. I just feel like there's something more there. But you know, I'm not an investigator, and I'm sure that if they could prove it, they will or they would. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's kind of a mess, that whole thing. But I'm glad you're going right to the trial.
Yeah, well, I gotta try to. I'm only gonna go if I can secure a seat every day. I'm not gonna go.
Sure.
I'm not gonna go if on a hope, you know.
Yeah.
No
well,
chance.
no. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Will you be able to know ahead of time if you're able to? Is that something they're doing, like some sort of seat lottery?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a lottery. I'm going to try to get one through somebody, you know.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're able to do that.
Yeah.
I think that would help share a lot of insight, especially, are they going to have cameras in the courtroom?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
So I'm just going to sit there. I'm going to bring like 9 of my like Chloe notebooks or whatever and just load them up.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good idea. Well, it'll be the only way to get good information if they're not going to have cameras and whatnot. So does he not want cameras, or does Indiana not allow them?
I don't think they allow them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, she had him for a couple of different hearings, but I don't think they're going to have it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't want to tie up your line. I just thought I would call in and drop a creep story and support your all that you do, all the freaks do.
Well, thanks.
All of it.
I appreciate it. Well, thanks for calling in.
So, yeah,
All
have
right.
a great night, Gray.
Well, thank you.
Bye,
You too.
freaks.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Well, the lines are open for anybody else. Did the JM individual ever call in? I don't know. But right now we're 98 short of the nightly goal. Probably not going to happen. I try though. I try to get it there every night just to keep moving. Because it's always weird when you have nights that are so dramatically different than others for no particular reason. Other than you're not covering the big cases. Anybody else calling in? Oh, it looks like there might be one here. Hold on. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Who's this?
I don't
somebody.
really want to say my name out loud if that's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to say your name.
Okay. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I'm in chat and everything like that, and probably the people in chat know. I just don't really want to say it out loud. But I have a thing to say just about, and it kind of goes to how a lot of people have been talking about, like Jen Soto, how could she not know, and all that kind of stuff, you know. But when I was little, like kindergarten little, I had someone in my family who was doing something to me, like literally in the house. It was a sibling, so the person lived in the house and everything like that. And my mom was very involved in our lives, all of our lives, and was even home at the time sometimes, and didn't know.
Like an actual brother, like a brother of yours, or is that what you said? Sibling?
What was that?
You said sibling, right? Or
Yeah, so one of my older brothers is 11 years older than me, and he's a half brother. So when I was 5, he was 16. So, but yeah, he lived with us, and I don't know if I was. I guess I didn't act any differently or anything like that, but it wasn't something that was. I don't know. Yeah, she just never. It wasn't something that I don't know.
Jeez. I mean, so did anything ever happen to him, or?
No, I actually have never told her. She still doesn't know.
How about maybe your brother knows? I mean, you never. So he's never. I mean, has he ever been in trouble for something similar, or was that just kind of like at that age, his hormones? I mean, he was just turned into a wacko, crazy person or something.
Yeah. So that was about the time he had started experimenting with meth.
Oh. Well,
and so I think that had a lot to do with it. And, but also when he was a little kid, one of my aunts, molested him for a long time. And his biological dad also did that to him when he was really, really young, before my mom left.
Did he tell you that, or?
My mom had told us that, and about his dad, and then his wife, ex-wife now, but she was the one that told us that about my aunt, which honestly I completely believe. It doesn't surprise me at all, because my dad's side of the family is totally just fucked up in every possible way. But yeah, so she would have him like come and stay the night, because she had 2 boys, and she would have him shower at her house and stuff like that, and would go in and like help him and things like that. And so I think that like messed with him, and then starting taking drugs amplified it, I guess.
Is he still alive, your brother? Or?
Yeah, he is.
Has he...
I actually went through one of those programs at my church called Celebrate Recovery, for not for drugs or anything, but for like kind of to deal with that. And I've had other things like that happen later on in life, and so kind of just to deal with those kind of things. And I went to the whole I can't think of the word right now, when you like go to them and forgive them, and tried to talk to him, and he acted like he didn't know what I was talking about, and it ended up in a fight, and him telling me, I don't know what you're come crying to me about, all this bullshit and stuff like that. And so wasn't something he was really ready to
well, you're saying your mom
hear,
didn't really know much at the time what was going on with you?
No.
I mean, was this a continual thing over a long period of time, or just sort of a couple?
It was a few times. It wasn't over a long span of time, and it wasn't like a whole bunch of times, maybe like a handful.
And what made it so that you didn't tell your mom?
He said, "Don't tell Mom."
And was that all he said, or was there a threat behind it?
No, I think that was all that he said, was just don't say anything to Mom, or don't tell Mom,
Weird. Okay.
And I didn't really to be honest, I've gone back and tried to think back and get into my frame of mind from back then, and think about why, or just like why I didn't say anything or if I acted any differently or anything like that. And I can't really rationalize it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you're 5 years old, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so, I mean, there's nothing, you're just not even sure what the hell's going on, really. I mean, you're 5, you're just sort of...
Yeah.
There isn't really, like, you don't need to be rationalizing something. It's just, you know, I think, I mean,
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know how to rationalize something, I don't think, too well at 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I didn't even know until a lot later. You know, it doesn't really register as something. You know, it's kind of, I knew that, I guess, that it was wrong or whatever because it was something that had to be hidden, but it didn't sink in about, like, how bad it was until a lot later on, you know, and how much it does actually affect you and carry with you for your whole entire life.
And do you see him now or have conversations?
Yeah, he's still around. He lives close, and it was actually a pretty weird thing, like, growing up, like, many, many years later, it was almost like I would try to, like, not impress him, but I always was really close with him, you know, and that, it stayed like that for a really, really long time. Later on, I had to kind of just completely cut him out, and he's a very toxic person in a lot of different ways. But yeah, it was a really weird dynamic that I haven't actually ever spoken about until right now.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing. That's it probably affects. I mean, is he married and has kids of his own and that kind of thing?
He has 3 kids, and he was married for a long time, but they're divorced now because of drugs. He hasn't ever been able to really.
Well, have you ever talked
get
to
off
maybe?
of them for good.
Have you ever talked to his ex to say, "Hey, you might want to look out for this or something"?
Yeah, I have talked to him, and he's got 2 daughters and a son, and I've talked to his daughters. I'm really, really close with both of them, and he was abusive to them, but not in the same way.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, geez. Well, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your story.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's
Thank you for letting me.
Pretty terrible story, but at least you had the courage to get it out there, and you know, maybe it has a little bit of a cathartic feeling to tell the story.
Kind of did. And like, I guess because at first when the stuff happened with Madeline, I was like, I initially was like, how could the mom not have known? You know? But then I was thinking, I was like, well, I mean, I guess when I was 13, I was really good at hiding stuff, you know? And especially something like that, and with all this other stuff we were talking about yesterday, you know, if he was holding something over her head or some, you know, things like that, it would be, you know, you'd be very motivated to keep it a secret. And so I just don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility that she was able to, that was able to happen with them and her not have any ideas, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that there's a good chance the mom, she may have had a few like suspicions here and there, but I bet you he was able to keep, you know, just look at what we just went over last night, how they can control. What if he just took a couple pictures of her and said, hey, I'll show your mom these if you ever, and so she never said anything. You know, he may have used some of those same techniques. I mean, who knows?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I completely agree. Or, dang, I lost what I was going to say.
What's that?
Oh,
yes,
about her having an inkling. I do I feel weird about it because of the way that she was talking in her interview and about the timeline thing. You know, so I do feel like she has some knowledge of something, or some guilty feelings about something, maybe. Like, maybe she just wasn't there at all that night or that morning like she said that she was. You know, I do feel like there's something weird about.
Well, she was helping him. Well, I mean, you could look at it like this. Let's say your mom back in the day, and let's say I don't. It's hard to really come with an example, but can't you just see it where he said, and she trusted him, right? So maybe he's like, hey, you know what? Listen, you were still asleep, and I took her to school for you, and now she's missing. They're gonna blame me. So can you at least say that you saw her when you know her getting ready? And which is to me, if he told her to say that, that's consciousness of guilt right there. That little statement, because you want proof of life after she's not alive. But then all the rest of the story too is just him saying, hey, listen, I drove over there, and you know, I dropped her off at the church, and I don't know, it's just weird to me. Well, it's not weird to me that I think it's the only part that, again, I say is the 8 o'clock in the morning comment. The rest of it is, and even that one could be something he told her to say, and she was willing to say it because she felt guilt. He made her feel guilty for not giving her the ride. That's what I think.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being the case.
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll see, though. I mean, they're doing an investigation, so I mean, I would be a little bit surprised if she was absolutely aware of the abuse. Like if she was aware, I'd be a little bit surprised about that.
Yeah, I would too. I think it would take a lot for, I mean, unless they were making some like crazy amount of money off of selling it or something, that she had that kind of a reason to be staying in it and being complicit, you know. That would be the only reason that I would think that she would have knowledge of it and not end it. You know what I mean? And that doesn't seem like that's the case. So I don't think that she knew what was going on the whole time or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see when the investigation concludes.
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully they find out some more, and hopefully they get some more charges on this guy so that he can go away forever. I mean, I'm sure he will already with all the charges he's got, but...
Yep. You got anything else?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a shit ton of them because I'm a woman that works in construction, but those are not as pertinent, I guess, to what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, you can call
I did have one time my best friend and I, when we were 12, we were walking down the street, and we used to have a homeless shelter in the city that I live in, and they closed it down. And so all the homeless people were like just on the street at that point. And we were walking one time and had a guy following us with his pants down, and he was like doing his thing for himself, and he was like trying to get up close behind us and try to get in front of us. It was really creepy, but
I guess that's a thing out there. That's like the third story that had something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some people are weirdos.
Yep. All right. Well, it looks like there's somebody else trying to call in now. So, but I appreciate you telling your story. Whoever you are.
Thanks
whoever
for
you are.
taking my call.
All right. Thanks. All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't know who that was. Oh, by the way, on this one right here. Oh, I got to answer this. Hold on. Hello.
Hey, Gray.
Yeah, who's this?
Charles.
Charles. What's going on, Charles?
I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's that?
Since Delphi, the FBI in the beginning were investigating it. True?
Yep.
Making it a federal case.
No, it wasn't a federal case. That doesn't make it a federal case when the FBI. It just means they're helping with the technology that they have.
I don't believe that Indiana can house Richard Allen. I believe that he will probably end up in the ADX Supermax in Florence.
Okay. All right. Well, how come? Just because people are going to do something to him or something, or what?
Yeah, I would think so, huh? I would, if I were there. You know?
I mean, I think he can be...
That's the way it is.
I think he can be protected. I guess if you're in general pop, it'd be pretty hard. I mean, you have to put him with other people that are similar to him. You know, but no, he didn't even do it though. It was the Odinist.
Oh, come on, man, please.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me with those sticks in the woods? I mean, hell, all kinds of runes out there, man. It was just chock.
I think Robert Ives summed it up correctly when he said this case could have been solved in a week, and he just went haywire.
On the documentary that I was in, I mean, not the documentary, the podcast that me, Morph, and another person, I forgot her name just now, we did a long time ago. He said, you know, this is one of those cases we had an audio, we had a video, and we thought we'd solve it in 2 weeks. You know, and it turns out maybe they should have had the conservation officer been a little bit more diligent about, wow, I just talked to a guy who said he was there.
Yeah, that's messed up. You know, the whole thing is messed up. But at least they got the right guy. You don't put a $20 million bail on some dude that didn't do anything. You know? It's obvious that the dude did this. And he's going to pay the piper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, it's really obvious. And the thing is all the clowns out there that keep saying, oh, no, he didn't do it. It was the Odinist. Whenever it's like when I go over the probable cause, that little animation thing I have, he has no chance. I mean, it's like it's unreasonable not to believe that he is the guy on the bridge. That's the truth. It's unreasonable to believe Richard Allen is not the guy on the bridge that Libby filmed, and because it's unreasonable to believe it's not him, then he is the killer, right? Because he's the one that took him down the hill, he took him across, and maybe by some miracle there's some other guy at the crime scene.
I think you were right in the beginning when you said from day one that you believed that this guy was taking him down that hill to have sex with them.
I don't remember saying that. I don't know if I ever.
Well,
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did a long time ago. You said you believed that he was going down the hill, and to the right there were some bushes out of.
Oh yeah, he was going to do whatever he was going to do, assault them over there in that corner area.
That's what I meant. I didn't mean to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't. It was
look right.
Close, I guess.
The situation, I was close, but no cigar. Listen, dude, how come the trial's getting pushed up from October?
Well, they requested a speedy trial. It was granted. Now it has to be done within 70 days, but they can always delay it themselves, you know.
Yeah, and I'm surprised there's no cameras in the courtroom. Being such a big case.
Well, that's just, I guess that's just the reality. It's kind of lame, actually. I mean,
yes,
hopefully I don't know if they film it privately on the side or how they do it.
I'm sure they do. The prosecution wants to go over all those points.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the defense, too, to an extent. But how do you defend it, excuse my language, a douche canoe like him? You can't.
A douche.
You know?
I remember somebody used to use that term all the time. Years ago. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
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 So, all right. Well, I don't know.
All right, dude. It was nice talking to you again.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for calling in.
I most certainly will again. Take care, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, another one? Hello, 810.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, this is your friend Michelle Kobe.
Kobe? Like Kobe?
Kobe.
Oh, Kobe. Michelle.
K-O-B-Y.
Oh,
yeah.
Michelle Kobe. I was like, Michelle Kobe? I was like, wait, Kobe? We have a Kobe in the chat. And... All right.
No. So I just have a little bit of a different perspective about the mother maybe knowing something. I left a comment on it, but I watched...
Oh, you were the one that sent me... I just was realizing you're the one that just sent in the super chat. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I was going to say thanks on the air,
yeah.
but the calls...
I appreciate people like being vulnerable and telling their stories. It's awesome. But so my ex-husband, his brother was always really close with the neighbor girl. And so we were around her. They'd come over. They had a big pond. They'd invite the kids over. And he'd always make comments about her, but he was kind of always like blustery, kind of like we'd roll our eyes, that's just him. That's how he is. Like he'd say inappropriate things, but you would never think he had a great job. And I don't know. He ended up dating her mother and they lived together. And he'd make inappropriate comments about her, like as she grew up. He ended up getting her like own cell phone, but he would say that he had it so he'd get receipts of the texts that she would get, and we would always, like, when we hang out with them, we were like, that's so weird. And just lots of warning things, but you never thought it would be to that level. And like 2 years after me and my husband split up, I had moved different states, and I got a subpoena. And as she got older and she realized like what was happening to her was wrong, she came forward, and then it all came together. And I believe that the mother had to know at this point, which makes me sick.
Yeah.
But wanted so desperately that relationship with that man that she would turn a blind eye.
You think that's what, in that case, that's what that was about?
I definitely believe so, to the point that I believe he got 54 felony charges, and he's never going to get out. This started... He blames her. He said she was 16 because that would be the age of consent, I guess, supposedly in the state. She said it was 14 that it started. But regardless, he would have been 45 years old.
So who was are you saying like it was like a woman was married to somebody and then that's the step
it was the boy.
child?
It was her boyfriend.
Her boyfriend.
Kind of same situation.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And then he made comments a couple times to where I even saw the girlfriend like look, and she looked almost embarrassed. And me and my husband would be looked at like we were like on our drive home. We'd be like, "What is that?" It just all came together. And to this day, she stands by him. He's never going to get out of jail. And she thinks her daughter seduced her boyfriend. She blames it on her. They have no relationship.
Yeah, that's sick.
So
that's sick. That's sick stuff there. Yeah. She's probably mad at her daughter for being abused. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I just seeing that, like, because nobody can not a normal person can comprehend that anybody could turn a blind eye or see that. But it happens, and I just going back in time, I wish I would have known more than it was just creepy comments or whatever, because I would have beat the shit out of them.
And how old was she? Like, you were friends with her at the time? I couldn't figure out what you were saying. My husband
was his brother.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Were you dating? Or, I mean, how old were you at this time?
This would have been between my mid-30s.
Oh, okay, so this is I see. Okay. Huh.
And we would hang out with them on the weekends. A lot of weekends we would, in the summers, we would hang out with them. And, I mean, I saw this girl from the time she was 8 to 18 before we split up. And I just didn't know. And I just kicked myself in the ass. I wish I could go back and ask her questions, and I wish I could have helped her.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really realize at the time that something's going on. I mean, do you have any suspicions yourself at the time, or?
We just thought it was him being him. He always just said stuff off the cuff that was kind of weird and, like, kind of shocking, you know, and we just laughed it off. That was just his kind of personality. So, but once I heard it, I knew it. It was true. I knew it, and just sick and sad. So it's just a different perspective. I just think there's some women that are just so desperate for that love that they would pretend like they don't see things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually somewhat common. I don't know if that's what's going on in this one. I mean, it could be, you know, in the Madeline Soto case, but it seems like you think that's probably what's going on there.
I think so. I mean, if she doesn't know, I think now at least she does know.
But she's like broke up with him a few times. I mean, like, he wasn't even living there anymore. I think if she was desperate, she would have been, I don't know. You know, I guess I can't.
But the couple in my instance did that back and forth. They pulled that power game between each other.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just so messed up. It's hard to tell. I don't know. It's just a different perspective. I don't know. I mean, I really hope to God that the mom didn't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course she knows now because she's been told and he's been charged with those things. You know, so she knows now, certainly. They seem to say that she wasn't, like everybody close to the suspect, I guess, is suspect, not a suspect. They didn't say that. But, I don't know. They said that she acted totally normal when she heard the news, like a normal person would react. Like, she didn't know about that. I mean, it's possible she just sort of had some kind of... I don't think she knew that she was being assaulted by him on a regular basis.
But maybe, like, in my instance that I'm talking about, like, maybe felt like being a little bit too creepy, like checking her out, you know, like making little comments about how beautiful she looked or something like that. Maybe.
Well, all those games and stuff he would, you know, those little toys he played with and lollipops and all that crap. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems a little creepy. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, in all these cases, I mean, I never had kids. I didn't want to deal with them, but like the women, you just need to, if you need to watch your kids, and if you're going to invite a man in your life and have him around them, like they have to be your priority. Like you have to know that they are the most abused by the outside males.
Yeah, but the problem is like, at what point we've had this conversation with, I mean, I think it's not, it's common, more common than we want it to be, but it's not really common in terms of percentage-wise. So it's like, when do you not trust somebody? Like if you meet somebody, why would you date somebody that you're not I mean, I guess you start dating. I guess I wouldn't introduce my kids to a partner that you're dating until you felt that they were trustworthy. And then once they're trustworthy, then what do? You know, like just say they can never take them to, you know, drive them somewhere if they need to go somewhere. If you were busy, you have to, you know.
And then again, these predators are so good at putting on these different masks and playing different roles.
Yeah.
They're tricksters.
They exist, yeah.
So sick, so sad.
So at some point, you got to be able to trust somebody, right? And somebody goes, well, you can't trust them until you get married. Well, no, because some people actually get married and they're still like that.
Exactly.
So it's one of those things where it's just, I would do a little bit digging, do background checks, look into people a little bit more. I know that kind of sucks, but you don't have to tell them you did that. That's what I would.
Well, look how much weird stuff you found out just from talking to his childhood friend.
Yeah, it's crazy. Or four friends, actually.
So if you heard that, you'd be like, okay, I'm not dating this guy no more. A normal person.
Yeah, he collected his stuff in bottles. Yeah. Okay, I'm probably not going to.
Yeah, try to take pictures of his mom, like weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had a camera set up in a bathroom, taking pictures of a roommate's girlfriend.
Yeah, all of that. Any one of those single things is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I just wanted to just add that perspective. I'm not trying to go hard at the mom. I'm just saying I've seen it before, and then I know how horrible that, because I still do have contact with this girl, and I know how horrible she feels that her mom sees her as like the seductress in this whole thing. Mm-hmm. And she blames her for everything, not the man.
Mm-hmm.
Just a terrible situation.
Yeah, no, it's a
okay.
nightmare.
Well,
it's almost like an epidemic. It's crazy out there.
But yeah, it's
stuff weird. I don't know if you listened. Did you watch last night's show or listen to that one? It's pretty crazy stuff going on out there.
Yep. I try to watch. I'm an auto line worker, so I catch a lot of your shows, but I can't like read all the comments and stuff because I'm busy. But I got my earbuds in, so.
So I'm going to be responsible if somebody doesn't have an extra bolt in their door?
No, because I'm quality, so you're good.
Oh, you're checking at the end. Well, but you might have missed the fact that somebody didn't put a bolt in.
Right. That's why I'm not looking at my phone.
Oh, okay. You're listening.
I'm listening.
Okay. All right. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for taking it. All right. Appreciate you.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. You too. Thanks, Michelle. Have a good night. Bye-bye. All right. I don't know if anybody else is calling in, but look at that, guys. We're only 24 short of the nightly goal. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? Daytime show when I'm working. I actually kind of wanted to, I'm going to turn off the phones now. Talk about this for a minute. So during that, she got the person I'm talking to said, because I was looking at this and I said, here's the car. This is where a car was found, you guys, right here. Listen to this. It was right there. But then when she called 911, that's right over here. No, right here, actually. Excuse me. So it looks like she just walked on the hell out. Okay? Hey, thanks, Plato and Mark Willis. Hey, look at that. Looks like we got to the goal. If anybody else wants to jump in there, we might even hit the number where I donate 5 memberships. We'll see. Who knows? But look at that. Right there is where the 911 call was made. Don't you think that's interesting? That she's heading out. Now she's even on a normal-ish road. And what she said was, yeah, she walked from that coordinates to the 78 highway. The sheriff tracked her footsteps from there all the way to the main road. I mean, are you kidding me? So from here, she walked all the way out and somehow made it. I'm not sure. It doesn't really run into 78 though, so I'm not sure how that could happen. Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense. But apparently, at least tracked it all the way out here. This might be the main road that they're talking about, this one. Like, maybe Cibola Lake Road, maybe? Yeah. Hey, thanks, Pirate Girl. Hey, hell, let's see, where are we at here? Well, 35 short of the 5 memberships, but it's okay. Let's see, nobody is covering this case. Right, of course they're not covering it. It's not Sebastian. I mean, isn't there a point where a case is like got too many people, you know, like when you're literally filming other searchers, you're kind of like, why aren't you just searching on your own and filming what you're doing? That just means there's so many people searching. This right here isn't the... for me, it's like jumping the shark, sort of. You know, you're just doing... You ran out of ideas, so you're... But I think that's really interesting, that her car was here, and she's over here when the 911 call was made. Maybe she even stood up on top of this, you know. I think that's interesting. Let's see. Does that really... Wow. I mean, like, hold on a second. No, that's a river. Now that makes it seem like there's something up, doesn't it? Doesn't it make you feel like she's here? I'm starting to get the Madison Bell ideas here. Maybe not quite the same situation, but like, I mean, look at it. The car's there, and then her phone is here. That means she made her way back out and is heading out, and apparently the sheriff... all the way to here. Oh wait, Cibola Road. Is it this way? I don't know where it runs into 78. I can't see that. She's saying it ran into 78. 78's here. So when would it ever run into it? Is it up here? Maybe? No? And there's even some, let's see. Okay, first photo is Amanda checking into a hotel. But what day? Let's see. You know, like here's a picture of her. I don't have any context yet, but it's like at a hotel or something. So it says first photo is supposed to be of Amanda checking into a hotel, and then another one, Amanda looked when described by the city bus driver who had her on her bus on the 26th. Third photo is Amanda's little... Okay, that's the sister. I'm trying to get more information so we can do something here. Yeah, apparently that's the exact pin where she called 911. And then over here is her car location. And look at that. They're both on the same road, basically. I mean, if you want to go down the wash and turn left on a road, I mean, I think that's pretty obvious that she's then walking out. And apparently she says the sheriff tracked her footsteps all the way back out and to some main road somewhere. I don't know. She said 78, but 78's over here. I don't know how that would work. You'd have to cross a river, so you know, some stuff doesn't make sense, but pretty weird stuff. But look at that, you guys, we're at the 3-hour mark now. Did she walk? No, I think she walked. I don't know what she walked out for, but you kind of wonder what's going on in this case, you know. I mean, did somebody abduct her on the way out? I don't know. I don't know. Is she alive still, just kind of out somewhere? Is there a charade going on here? Did somebody else do something to her? I don't know. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for me tonight, you guys. Thank you for everybody who called in. You guys are awesome. I mean, I think we should do that a little more often. I like the, and it's just interesting to hear the stuff, and I mean, it's so amazing that they have the courage to call in to tell stories, you know. But I think it lets people realize that you're not alone. There's so many people this stuff happens to. It's crazy. I wonder what the percentage is of girls below the age of 13 who've had some sort of, like, I mean, how about if I do a poll? That way you don't have to say your name. I won't know, but let me do this poll here. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. I want the answer to this question is in the realm of what we've been talking about. Okay, so, and you know, I'm just gonna. So here we go. Just okay, sorry, I didn't, the terrible grammar there, but when you're below the age of 13, did somebody, you know, it's someone act inappropriately towards you? I mean, look at that, you guys. Look at the number up there. That's just ridiculous, right? And I want everybody to answer, even ones that nothing happened, right? I don't think so, Deborah. It's a pretty obvious question the way I worded it. There are, look at that, like 58 people up there, 79%. That sucks. Jesus. It's not really shocking to me, though. I'd almost think it was higher than that. Yeah, it's just right there on the screen. You just click on the thing and it shows you. Yeah, 58 people. Alright, anyways, so there you go. I'm going to end the poll. So 79%. Man, that's wild. Alright, you guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks, Cindy Leon, Bucolic Buffalo, Chicken Wing, Eugenie, Chicken Wing again, Cream Puff, Kit, Billy Barker, Kubi, Chicken Wing, Kit Kat. Good to see Kit Kat again. I haven't seen her for a long time. Ophelia Gaston, Kami, Norm Scanlon, Heather N, Eugenie, Amber Maiden, and Eugenie gifted a membership. Ophelia Gaston, Carol Z, Alley Cake, Ashy Snow. Ashy Snow became a new member. Jennifer Sube, maybe, or Sub, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Peter Deco Trash, Pirate Girl, Shadow Aspect, Rad Story, Renee H, Gummo, Juniper's Tarot and Astrology, Pancakes, Sandy Shirley, Heather N, Ginger Keys, Paulette Leonard, Jessica Schubach, Lisa Valenzuela, Alley Cake, Annabelle Roma, Jessica Schubach, Ashy Snow, Plato, Mark Willis, and Pirate Girl. But for some reason, the Michelle Kobe didn't show up on this list over here, but sometimes those don't show up on there for some reason. Don't know why. Anyways, thanks everybody for being here. Hope you found it interesting. I'm going to try to get more information on this other case, though. If I want to have the 911 call. I want to have just everything sort of dialed in here. It's really kind of a puzzle now. That's the Amanda Nenigar case. Alright. So, do you guys like the show at all, or? Yep. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, people are able to. Sweet. All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow then. All right. So thank you for being here. And as I always say, until next time. Oh, I do exist, by the way. Let me check Blue's heart rate over here. Or his breathing, anyways. Hold on. Let's see what it is. Oh, it looks nice. It looks pretty good right there. Gotta do get my stopwatch. You know it's cool. You just type stopwatch on Google, and then it's right there. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, cool. So that's like 20. That's like 32. That's good. That's good. Better than earlier. Okay, let me just do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's nice. So that was really about 7. That was like 28. Nice. Yes, very good. Very good. Yeah, earlier today it wasn't quite as good. Yeah, it was kind of... Now it's back to a reasonable number like that. you can really do it. I mean, it does look pretty good right now. It was a lot more sort of, I don't know what you call it, abrupt or something earlier. But anyways, hey, thank you all for reaching the goal. I know I try to push for it and get it going, but I know what it takes to do all the stuff that we do, and you know what it takes to support the channel and give away a ton of money at the same time. And so we've already done 3,500. You know what's amazing, everybody? I didn't really think about it, but I think the first month in January we donated $3,500 from the channel that month, but we've already given $3,500, and we're not even at the end of the month yet. So that's pretty. I think that's one of our largest mid-month sort of, you know, going on. And the reason is because I've been making a lot of videos and putting them out there, and so there's been ad revenue coming in, which has nothing to do with you guys in terms of you know skin in the game or whatever you want to call it. But, well. Okay, well, thanks, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. And, as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for
and a 9 and a 10 and 11 and a 12.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector.
You're squishing Lori.
Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his spectre with a respector. Just remember, I have a temple fucking checker. I have no agenda. I have a tender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the truth and yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Oh my God. That's horrible. All right, we'll see you later.
Good night, everybody. Jay.
Wow.